This is Godson Pius from WordBrain Technology, and so in our last tutorial we actually displayed our doctors right from the database. So here we have all our doctors coming from the database. Alright, so in this tutorial we're going to be adding an interesting feature to the app. So we're going to be registering new admin into this application, and also allowing the admin to log in and also add doctors, right? So let's go ahead and get that done. Alright, so this is our text editor. So we'll go to pages.register. So right here, pages.register, and when we go to pages.register over here, this is page.register, we have the full name, email address, and the other input element right there. So we likely need to change this to PHP, right? Okay, so what we need to do is to add the name attribute to this input, so we can actually get their values from PHP. So here we add name, we'll call this first name, and over here let's see, okay, full name actually. So full name, we have full name. Then for the email, we have email. For the username, we have name attribute. We're gonna have username here. Okay. For the password, we're gonna have password, and the confirm password, we're gonna have confirm underscore password. Alright, so we don't really need these terms and conditions right here, so let's get rid of it. Then for our button, we're gonna add the name property called submit. Alright, so this is what we need to have here by refresh. Nothing changed, just we remove the accept terms and condition right there. Okay, so this is done for this. So we'll go back to our config, then our functions.php. Remember we have this register function right here, so we're gonna work with this register function. So let's import our global link, global link. Okay, so we're gonna have similar stuff we had here. We're gonna have the errors, will be equals to this, and we need to add a parameter post here so we can extract post. Alright, so make sure you add your semicolon. Right, so we're going to be checking if these guys are empty, that is if the input fields are empty or the input value are empty, then we have to return some error back there. Okay, so I'm just going to shift this down so we'll see what I'm doing. So if not empty, full name. So we are getting this full name from the name attribute here, actually from this name attribute here, full name. And why I'm putting it as a variable is because right here we've already extracted all the whole super global array that we're going to be having when we call the function. Okay, so that's why we're having this. I really explained this in our previous tutorial, so do it to follow up. Then we'll have full name is equal to then our sanitize function, then we'll have full name right here. Okay, cool. Okay, so PHP understand that this is a new variable holding whatever the user has put in the input form there. Alright, so don't get confused about this. This is a new variable and this is holding whatever the user has put in there. So say else errors is equal to full name is empty. Alright, then we have the same if statement, so I'm just going to copy this, and the next field we have is the email. So control command D, and then we have email. For Windows you just need to press Ctrl D. For Mac, command D. Okay, so email is empty, right? So the next field there is the username. Command D. So we have username here. Then here we'll say username is empty. Also gonna have the password. Alright, so command D. So we have password, and then we can say password is empty. Alright, then the next one is our confirm password, so let's confirm that as well. Yeah, confirm password. Replace this. Alright, so we need to check if this password is equal to this. If they're not equal, then we throw password do not match. If they're equal, then we encrypt the password using the SHA-1 function. So we'll say sorry, okay, then we'll say confirm password is empty. Alright, then we say if password is strictly equal to confirm password, then we need to say user pwd user password is equal to SHA-1. Let's just encrypt the first password, or anyone, either you encrypt the confirm password or encrypt the password, they are both the same thing. Okay, else we throw an error. We throw an error that says passwords do not match. Okay, so once we have that running, we now need to write our SQL query to send these data to the database. So we have SQL is equal to insert into here we'll have the name of the table. So let's check our database. Okay, now alright, so the name of the table one will send that information is on the admins table. So we'll say insert into admins, right? Then we have our bracket, then the column names comes next. We have the full name, the ID is auto increment, so we don't need to add that to our code. So we have the full name, the email, the username, and then the encrypted password. So the updated at and created at column, they are actually current timestamp, so we don't need to put that also. So we only have full name, email, username, and password. Alright, so it's a full name, email, username, and then password. Great. So here we have the values. So we're going to have the values here. I have this double colon. First one is the full name. Oops. Full name, double colon, followed by the email, double colon, followed by the username, actually single quotes, not double colon, guys, then followed by the user password. Alright, so this is the query we need. So it's just a straightforward code, and the English is really straightforward. Say insert into admin table, then we set the columns we want to affect, so we add the variables right here. Okay, so I believe this is making sense. So let's send this query. So say query is equal to, I'm going to use my MySQLite function. So this is an inbuilt function in PHP. So first of all, what we need to put as parameter there is this link over here, right? So we add the link, then followed by our query, then which is the SQL. Alright, so we now need to check if this was successful. So we say if query, if it actually entered into the database, then we say return true, else I'm going to return false, right? Then that's literally all we need to do here. Alright, so let's save our work, then back to pages.register. So at the top here, we're going to start up a PHP, and we need to import the db.php. Remember, the function.php is already required here, so all we need to require is this db.php right here. Okay, so let's say require once. We go into the config slash db.php. Alright, nice. So we have, so we're going to say if is set the lesson underscore post submit. So let's quickly make sure that our form is having the post method. Alright, let's make this empty, and then method, the method will be post. Okay. Alright, so I have a video on form handling. I'm going to drop the link in the description below if you are still finding it hard to walk around with form handling in PHP. I have a video on that, so just quickly look at that video and get to know how to send your form data, right? So we're going to have, if you set post submit, the submit is coming from this name attribute right here. Okay, cool. Then it's a response is equal to, or you can say send post or add admin, no, something this way, is equal to register. So this is a function, and it accepts a parameter, and this will be the parameter, right? Then we'll say if add admin is strictly equal to true, that is if the function is returning true, then let's just echo, let's just have a script alert new admin added. Cool. Else alert operation failed, try again. So let's refresh. Okay, so quickly let's go to authentication, then we'll go to register. So let's add a new admin, um, John Doe, password test. Okay, so register. Cool. So new admin added. Okay. So when we go back to our database and let's click on the browser, so it's gonna refresh. Interesting. So we have John Doe here, and if you notice, the password is encrypted, right? And this is the admin email, and this is John Doe. Okay. So let's go back to the index.php right here, and let's log this admin out. Okay, let's log the admin out. For us to log the admin out, we need to just log out this section. Remember, on the login function, we actually had this section here, which is admin, that is keeping track of that functionality. So let's work on the logout very quickly. So right here, we're going to create a new file, and then we'll call this logout.php. So this is very simple. So logout is one of the simplest stuff to do. So we're just going to start this session underscore start, right? Then once we start it, we say session destroy, and once we've done that, we send the user back to location. So we are sending the user back to pages login.php. Alright, good. So in our header.php, where we have the logout, I think I'm just going to search for this logout, find. Okay, so right here where we have the logout, we'll go to logout.php, and then the next one, which is over here, we'll go to logout.php. Alright, cool. So we'll go back to this place and let's refresh. Okay, so say logout. Interesting, see that it logged us out. So let's actually sign in with John Doe test. You see that? So very cool. So let's actually work on the name of the admin right here. Let's work on the name of the admin. So oops, sorry. So initially we actually had a function which is get doctors, yeah, which is just for getting the whole doctors. So right here we'll also add a function also similar to get doctors, but with a different implementation. So down here, but let's do that above before the doctor. So we say get admin, so say select all from admins where id is equal to $id. So this is going to be accepting a parameter id. Okay, so remember in this login here, we are saving the admin's id to this section admin here, right? So what we're going to do with this function is whenever we call this get admin, we just add the section, the value of the section in the parameter of this function here. Alright, so we're going to see that shortly. Okay, so select all from admin where id is equals to this. Okay, cool. So So in the header.php, I think this is where we have the name, right? So scroll up. So over here we have, let's start the PHP, and then we'll say admin ID, yeah, is equal to $_ session admin. Okay, but let's not fail to add some authentication. So we'll say if is set $_ session admin, then we can now have this inside of the code, so our application won't crash. Okay, right? Then you can now say get admin is equal to the get admin function. Let's get that right here, get admin, and this takes in a parameter, so we don't have admin ID in here. So within this place, let's require our command from ink folder. We go into the config/db.php. Alright. Okay. Then we can say for each get admin as admin. Cool. So we can just extract the admin. Nice. So let's test, let's see if there's error so far. Interesting. So we have some errors there. Let's quickly debug that. Select from administrator ID is equals to ID. Let's see. Let's refresh. Okay, so we just removed the, remember we are calling this header instead of the index, so all we need to do is go into the config and fetch the db.php. So actually the header is not really located here because we are requiring it in the index.php over here. Okay, alright, so that is just it. I think since we've already required this over here, we don't really necessarily need this. If it gives an issue, then we add it back. Alright, cool. Alright, so here we've extracted the admin. Down here where we have the name of the admin, let's look for it. I'm just going to search name of the admin, so find. Alright, so down here we're going to replace it with the name of the admin. So we'll say full name, then we'll refresh. Interesting, so we're having John Doe. Cool. And over here too, we need to change this to John Doe. The username, actually, let's add the username there. Okay, so Anderson. So let's find that. Alright, this is here. So we change this to username. So let's copy that. Here we have his username here. So let's refresh. Cool. So we have John Doe. Click on logout. So let's test this out. Click on logout. Okay. Awesome. It takes us to login that page. So let's log in with James now. James@kena.com. Put our password. Then sign in. Interesting. So we're having admin James, and here the username is James. Alright. So this is how you can add new admin and also add their names, the username in your application. So if you've really found this interesting, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also you have any issues, let me know in the comment below, and if you find this interesting, let me know in the comment below. Alright, thank you. See you in the next tutorial.